Hey guys, this is Dave, and I have 3 newer cables by one of my favorite cable brands, Effect Audio. I have 2 of their entry-level cables. I have the Aries S Lite on the right here, and this one is priced at $129. Then the Cadmus Lite on the left here is priced at $149. And then finally, the one in the middle here is the Aries S2 Cadmus 2, which is basically a blend of those 2 cables. So it uses 4 silver-plated copper wires from the Cadmus 2 cable, and then 4 copper wires from the Aries S2 cable. And this one is priced at $269. And I actually own quite a few Effect Audio cables. I have the purple and white Zeos 8-wire 10th anniversary special edition, and that one is currently paired with my Andromedas. I've also got the Eros S2, that one's up here paired with the Divas. The Aries S2, that one's paired with the Cantors, and then the Cadmus 2 is paired with the Fio FA19s. So those are the Signature Series 2 cables. And again, this new Aries S2 Cadmus 2 cable is the newest addition to the Signature Series 2 lineup. And up until recently, the Signature Series 2 lineup was their least expensive cable. I think the Aries S2 was the least expensive cable that they had at $199. I actually think the original Aries S was about $179. In any case, the new Lite cables are the least expensive cables that Effect Audio has ever made. And while you do have your choice of either a 3.5, 4.4, or 2.5, these Lite variants do not have Effect Audio's Termex system or the Connex system, which means the terminations are not swappable. So what you order is basically what you're stuck with, and they only come with a flat 2-pin connector. So these will not work with IM shells that have the recessed 2-pin sockets like the DaVinci or the Volume S. So just make sure that whatever IEMs you are planning on pairing either of these with have that flat or non-recessed 2-pin socket on the shell. And right now I have the Aries S Lite paired with the Vulcan 2 and the Cadmus Lite paired with the Meze Alba. So those both have the flat 2-pin connectors on the shell. So the 2 Lite cables here on the outside, these are both 4-wire cables, and they use different materials for the wiring. The Aries S Lite uses pure copper, while the Cadmus Lite uses silver-plated copper. However, they both use the same outer flexi insulation, and if I'm being honest, these aren't the softest cables. They are soft, but there are softer cables out there for sure. And the main thing is, again, that they are soft enough to roll up and store quite easily, but more importantly, they're still very manageable. So they have little to no memory, and I have had absolutely no issues with tangling. Now, I will say that in my experience with Effect Audio cables, and I have, again, quite a few of their cables, Effect Audio does not compromise quality, and that's reflected even in these entry-level cables. And you could see they've used really nice, robust hardware on both of these. So not only do they feel like a well-built cable, they look beautiful as well. And then next, again in the middle here, we have the newest addition to the Signature Series 2 lineup, the Aries S2 Cadmus 2, and again, it's priced at $269. This is an 8-wire cable, and again, 4 of those wires are the silver-plated copper wires from the Cadmus 2, and then 4 copper wires from the Aries S2 cable. So it's essentially just a blend of those 2 cables. Now, one thing to bear in mind is that when you get up to the 8-wire cables, while they are soft and they're pretty manageable, they are still pretty thick and girthy, so they will take up a little more space in your carrying case. And again, for it being a little thicker, I would still consider it to be pretty soft, and it also has little to no memory, and it has absolutely no issues with tangling. So they are a little on the thick side, but they are still very manageable. And like all of their cables, it's just a very well-built cable, and the hardware that they used on the Signature Series 2 cables, all 4 cables use the same hardware, but they all look great, and the Aries S2 Cadmus 2 is no exception. So it's a little on the thick side, but it's still very manageable. It's also built very well and designed very well. But what I like about the Signature Series 2 lineup, including this one, is that it does implement Effect Audio's Connex system, so you can swap the connectors out for basically whatever your IEMs require. So you have the option of your standard 2-pin, MMCX, Pentacon, and I think a couple of other less common connectors, but those do have to be purchased separately. And you can also add the Termex option for I think another 80 bucks if you want. That of course gives you the ability to swap the terminations out to either a 3.5, 4.4, or 2.5. And that feature alone, I guess, isn't really as much of an upgrade as it was a few years ago, because now you see that feature on cables that come with much less expensive IEMs, $100 IEMs. The Connex system, however, is quite unique, and it's something that I've made good use of. Now, I do want to talk about sound briefly, and I know some of you watching might be interested in that, and I've said this before in other cable videos. I'm fully aware that this can be a kind of a controversial topic, and that there are an array of opinions ranging from cables can make a huge difference in audio quality to they make no difference at all. And all I can do, of course, is share my experience. And under most circumstances, in my experience, cables make very little difference in an IEM or headphone's overall sound presentation. However, there are some unlikely scenarios under which I guess it's possible for an IEM or headphone's sound to be affected. A damaged cable, obviously that can affect sound quality. The impedance of the IEM or the headphone can affect the sound, and the impedance of the cable itself can affect the sound. But my experience is that those factors rarely come into play. And from what I've experienced, you're not going to see much variance in impedance levels in cables, even higher in cables. Suffice it to say, my experience is that cables have minimal impact on the headphone or IEM's sound quality. That said, I do like pretty cables, and for me, the build quality, the materials used in a cable's construction, and even the aesthetics of the cable are kind of important to me. That said, all of these cables sound great. They sounded exactly as I hoped they would, which is basically like nothing. They allowed every IEM I paired them with to perform at their absolute best. They all sounded excellent. Anyways, that does it for this video. If you are new to the Gazaudio channel and you like our videos, please take a minute and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to go a step further, you can also support us through our Patreon. I'll be sure and leave a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. Please like this video. Please share this video. I hope you have an awesome day.